Ever find yourself starting a story with, "Back in my day," only to see your grandkids' eyes glaze over? We've all been there. You want to share something meaningful from your past, but instead of sparking interest, you end up hitting an invisible wall. What if telling your stories could actually bring you closer, instead of pushing them further away? Let's be honest, most people under 30 hear those words and instantly brace for a lecture. In their minds, "back in my day" is the opening line for a comparison, a reminder of how things used to be harder or better, or simply different. But if you look a little deeper, the real intention behind these stories is often to share wisdom, to pass on a piece of your life experience. The disconnect happens because, while you're offering meaning, they might be hearing judgment or even a hint of superiority. Why is that? Psychology tells us that younger generations are especially sensitive to feeling compared. They crave being seen and understood for who they are now, not measured against a standard from the past. When stories sound like lectures, it can feel like their own experiences are being minimized. They tune out, not because they don't care, but because they want to feel respected, not schooled. But storytelling doesn't have to build barriers. In fact, it can be a bridge, a way to connect across the years and share what really matters. Think about it. Stories have always been humanity's way of passing down lessons, values, and emotions. The key is to focus on what you learned and how you felt, rather than just recounting hardships or offering instructions. Instead of saying, "You don't know how lucky you are," try sharing a story that highlights a moment of growth or insight. For example, there was a time when I had to make do with very little, and it taught me gratitude I still carry today. Suddenly, you're not delivering a sermon. You're opening a window into your world, offering a gift rather than a guilt trip. So, how do you turn your stories into something they'll actually want to hear? Here are 3 practical tips. First, lead with emotion, not instruction. Start by sharing how you felt. Maybe you were scared, proud, or even completely lost. When you reveal vulnerability, it draws people in. The facts of the story matter less than the feelings behind them. Second, invite their perspective. After sharing your experience, ask, "What would you have done in that situation?" This transforms your story from a solo performance into a conversation. It shows you value their opinion and want to hear their take, making them an active participant rather than a passive listener. Third, use humor or an element of surprise. Self-deprecating jokes or unexpected twists can make your stories memorable and relatable. Try something like, "We didn't have Wi-Fi back then. We had to talk to each other. Pretty scary, right?" Suddenly, you're sharing a laugh, not just a lesson. Your past holds incredible power, but it shines brightest when shared with heart, not hierarchy. When you tell stories that invite connection, instead of comparison, you open the door to understanding, empathy, and even joy. So, next time you feel tempted to start a story with, "Back in my day," remember, your memories are treasures, not measuring sticks. Share them with love, listen as much as you talk, and watch as your stories become something your family actually looks forward to. What's one story from your past that never fails to make people smile or think? Reflect on it, and consider how you might share it in a way that empowers and connects. Because the best stories aren't just told, they're lived together.